Not only has this Elite Series 2 controller that is slathered in my gamer goo, my fingertip oil, not only has this controller not broken or self-destructed in my hand, but get your tinfoil hat on and realize that the Earth is not only flat, but also hollow. I've only charged this controller about 3 times in a year of heavy to moderate use, getting hundreds of hours of stick time. That's not possible, Kevin. Let's get it.
This is your controller captain. We've reached 6,900 feet. Go ahead and start flicking the sticks and mollywopping the back paddles.
You don't like back paddles? How about those rear buttons? We've tested almost 100 custom and premium controllers, and we're only at the beginning. You need a thumbstick guide or tutorial on how to overclock your controller? Check out the controller playlist.
Bing bong.
Controller captain out.
What is going on, Stallions and Stallionettes? Welcome to the Gamer Heaven. I am your host, AK40 Kevin. I have reviewed the Microsoft Elite Series 1, Elite Series 2, compared them to several other premium controllers on the market, and even done disassembly/teardown videos and customized them from the titty nips up. This is going to be a long-term update and owner's review to my Elite Series 2, which I purchased 10 months, 2 weeks, and 6 days ago. Now, I'm going to redo my existing review of the Elite Series 2 controller in the near future because I now have a new system or process for reviewing controllers, which includes new segments and actually giving them a grading or rating based on 13 5-point categories. But in the meantime, there are some things that I need to get off my hairy ass chest. I have had 0 quality control issues with my Microsoft Elite Series 1, my original Elite Series 2, which I gave to a buddy and he's still using it, and then this one that I purchased 10.5 months ago. Now that is surprising because these controllers are notorious in the controller community for disintegrating. Stuck face buttons, stick drift, and broken bumpers, sometimes right out of the box. Not in my case, but that does not mean that this is not a valid issue. Other than scuff, I would say the Microsoft Elite controllers have the worst quality control reputation because they are held to the same tolerances or QC as standard $50 bulk produce Xbox controllers. And surprise, surprise, I hate to be the one to tell you the Easter Bunny isn't real and Santa Claus is banging your mom under the mistletoe, but they share about 60% of the same parts, such as the face buttons, such as the thumbstick modules. Yes, there is a tightening mechanism for increased tension, such as the module for the 3.5mm headphone jack, such as the primary PCB or printed circuit board, the brain inside this bad boy. So because of lax quality control standards and the fact that these controllers share about 60% of the parts with a standard Xbox controller, they are notoriously bad for falling apart. I just wanted to let my viewership, my audience, the Stallions and Stallionettes know that that has not happened to me, and this controller gets heavy use. I don't do anything crazy. I don't store these in a carrying case to keep dust and debris out of the thumbstick modules. I mean, shoot, as you can see, I have about 67 controllers on the wall behind me. I'm sure they're sucking up dust and debris. I'm gonna relax the overhead lighting and just set the mood for us a little bit here and get a little bit intimate with you. Check it out, bitch. The fact that my Elite Series 2 is still plugging away just fine with no issues, in my opinion, correlates to 2 things. One, I do take pretty good care of my controllers. I don't throw them. If I'm pissed off at a game and I'm raging, I will punch my desk or flip my chair over. I take it extremely easy on my controllers. I will set them down before I throw a controller. I have an affinity for these chunks of plastic. The second thing being that buying electronics consumer items is randomized. It is what's called the silicon lottery. So when you buy a graphics card or a smartphone, you might have plus 5-6% performance over your buddy that has the exact same product, the exact same item. The same thing applies to the printed circuit boards inside these controllers and the cheap plastic components like face buttons that can easily get jammed up underneath the front shell. So it's kind of randomized if you might get yourself a janky one. Luckily, I have had a very good track record with Elite controllers, but I always take into account their negative quality control reputation and the thousands, if not dozens of thousands of gamers out there that have had these things break on them. So I always factor that into my conclusions when I am reviewing Elite controllers. So now let's get into the crazy do-wackadoo nuts loose screws hanging. Like I mentioned during the intro, I have had this controller about 10.5 months. I play with it on PC and my Xbox Series X and my S occasionally in the bedroom. And I have plugged this controller into power maybe 3 occasions, and 0 or none of those 3 occasions were me purposely plugging the controller in to charge it because it was about to die or had died completely. So then I started thinking, well, you play with it on the PC sometimes, so maybe you're plugging it in via a USB-C cable because you play wired. That would make sense, but I only play wired about 30% of the time on PC. Because of the Bluetooth card I have on my motherboard, as well as DualSense controllers using the latest and greatest Bluetooth technology, I use that sometimes when I'm using a DualSense, and I also use the Xbox adapters for Windows to play wireless with Xbox controllers on PC a lot as well. So it's not connected via USB-C cable, getting power, or charging. But I play with this controller quite a bit. I've actually never had it die on me. I've gotten 1 low battery notification. You get a little amber light flashing. Now, the Elite Series 2 controller is always advertised or marketed as having 40 hours of battery life, which is phenomenal. 40 hours of playtime. For a premium, pro, or custom controller, that is phenomenal. Especially one as feature-rich as the Elite 2. But here was the main point that I want to relay onto you as an actual owner of an Elite Series 2 controller. The standby time with the damn battery is phenomenal, because there have been chunks of time where I have left this sitting in a drawer and not touched it for several weeks to a couple months. Then I would grab it and play the hell out of it for a few weeks, then put her back on the shelf for a month, then slap her sticks back for another couple weeks. And yet I've never had to charge this controller because it's low on battery. It's always been, I'm inadvertently charging it because I happen to want to be playing wired on PC, or I happen to be plugged into my Xbox Series X doing something. So the takeaway of this video, my Elite Series 2 controller is still plugging away, still satisfying me on the daily. I rarely, if ever, charge this thing, which is insane. I'm gonna actually start like a diary or a log for charging this controller, because that is gonna bother me that I can't really recall charging it more than 2 or 3 times in 10.5 months. That's wild. Drop in the comments section below your experience with the Elite Series 1 and 2 controllers. I am sure there's going to be a ton of horror stories of these things doing what they do, self-destructing in your hand like a Galaxy Note. Remember those? The Android hand grenades? Pull the pin on the lock screen and phew, right there in your pocket. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go charge my Elite controller. She probably needs it. If you enjoyed the video, liking it helps it to get seen by more gamers. This information will reach in a system as well, which in turn helps me grow this little channel, which I do greatly appreciate. Subscribe for more content like this. I cover news in the gaming community and industry, tutorials helping you get set up streaming and YouTubing, as well as honest gaming product reviews, keyboards, mice, headsets, controllers, mics, chairs, etc. There are some hefty exclusive discount codes found only in the description of my videos and only for the audience here at Gamer Heaven. Check out Into the AM for some of the sickest looking and most comfortable cloth to ever grace my gaming giblets. If you don't want to be scorching your corneas with harmful blue light, check out Gamer Advantage, the only blue light glasses on the market that look sexy and actually work. If you're looking for a custom controller that'll blow the competition's tits back, AIM definitively has the best bang for buck or price to performance when it comes to Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch controllers. Nope, they don't do Switch, but they do gaming mice. I said doo-doo. I have links to all my other platforms and socials in the description below. If you need a quick laugh or blast of gamer adrenaline, check my short form videos out at TikTok. To get in touch with myself and the Stallions and Stallionettes of Gamer Heaven, join the community Discord, and check me out at twitch.tv where I go live every other leap year on a blue moon if it falls into an odd calendar number, and my pH balance is on point. Just kidding, starting June I'm going to be live streaming a lot. Thanks for watching. This has been AK40 Kevin hosting Gamer Heaven, and I'll see you tomorrow because I upload daily, all the time, 60% of the time, sometimes, most of the time. Peace.